You guys do not know how much I care about you, to the point where I have someone so special to me, someone so dear to me before us today. And just to let you know how special you are, the person that you see before you is my father. And he's agreed to be in the hot seat today to be questioned about how we feel about what his generation has done to in terms of teaching us the Yoruba language or not teaching us, what that generation did to cause all of us to be the way we are today, whether we're speaking it, not speaking it, or teaching it to our children or not. But my father has agreed to speak to us today to give his perspective. And I guarantee you will enjoy this conversation because my father loves talking and shedding light on things. So let's take the ride together to see how he feels, whether he can speak for his generation and represent men, because we have these conversations with mostly women. How about we have one with men to get his perspective and see whether all of you or you elders out there who are watching can relate to this topic, and we will like your comments below about this. So Daddy, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Well, you're welcome. Ṣé àlàáfíà làbáyé? May God bless you in promoting Yoruba culture.
Adúpẹ́, ẹ ṣé adúpẹ́, àlàáfíà lẹ bá wa. Adẹ̀dúpẹ́ pẹ́ pẹ̀lú wa lénìí. Inú mi dùn gan ni. Thanks, Dad, for joining us. I'm doing English now. Thanks, Daddy, for joining us. We are excited to have you, and we are doing well, and we're glad that you're here with us. So, Daddy, the topic of today's discussion is the fact that your generation some decided to speak just English. Actually, most decided to speak only English to us. And the others probably just did both, or, just only spoke Yoruba. I don't know. But I know that the decisions that your generation made in order to further our life and have us interact with the world is what got us to where we all are today. So Daddy, why is it that Nigerian parents, mostly, especially in Lagos, your generation chose to speak English to us when we could have been learning Yoruba? Why was this decision made?
Thank you for that very good question. This our generation during the time of we met colonial era, of which is we adopted English language as the general language, let me put it, official language for Nigeria. There are some African parts of the country of which they don't speak English. Being that British colonized Nigeria, and we use English as a general language. So, during the slave trade, the British, they enslave us, they teach us our language. Maybe you know about this man, Bishop Ajayi Crowther.
Right?
Bishop Ajayi Crowther, he was the one who translates most of this English to Yoruba language. But, due to that, our generation, when we were brought up, most like my father, he doesn't go to school. My mother doesn't go to school. But they've seen a lot in what is called education. And to them, they believe the education, if you don't understand English, you cannot, progress. Of which, I believe is not true. But that is their, that is, they were thinking. That is the way they believe it is. So they try one way or the other to make sure that we go to school to learn English, most especially when late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, try one way or the other to make education free, most especially in western part of Nigeria. So in view of this, so we believe that if you don't learn English, you will not be able, to be, most especially at the school, when they teach you, they don't teach in Yoruba or Hausa or Igbo, which is our three major language.
Right.
So, but, because we've been colonized by British, so in view of that, they mandate us that we should speak English every part of the governmental office. School is the first one of which they train us to be, to teach us English in the classes so we can easily communicate with each other. So that English, they take it as a priority for every student. So when you speak Yoruba or Hausa or Igbo, they will tell you speak vernacular. Right. What is vernacular? They believe it's a local language, and there is no language that is local. I don't believe that any language is local. So that's made us to say that, okay, if this is the system, let's put our children to that track. So that is the track of learning English. Is your question answered?
Yeah, you answered my question fully. So thanks for your response. And so you would say it's because of the governmental mandates that caused our parents, your generation, to make the decision to, at the expense of our native tongues, speak English so that we can maybe survive, be able to be to participate in the rest of the world, and be understood, progress in life. But why is it that most of our parents seem ashamed of? It's almost as if we don't know how to speak English, we just don't know how to speak at all. As if the generation before you, they didn't speak much English. They spoke their native tongue, Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. Well, why is it that your generation to us is more of, you have to speak English. If you don't speak English, you speak your English, don't speak. And Daddy, you used the word vernacular. You said they would, back then in the schools, they would say our native languages are considered vernacular. So, but you, as your generation did the same thing where we were not allowed to speak vernacular, and that was our languages. So I guess to rephrase my question, why is it that our parents, your generation, didn't consider speaking Yoruba that worthy? It was more of, you have to speak English, you have to speak English.
The reason is that, number one, we want you to merge, to be able to compete with, the other student in the class, or to make it possible for you to understand the teacher. Because the teacher will not teach you in Yoruba, English, or Igbo. So if you don't practice it, constantly, so it will be very difficult for you. For example, they were teaching you English, at the school, and you come home, we don't even practice that English with you. When we know little, we don't practice it with you. Definitely, maybe before you get to school the other day, you might have even forgotten what they teach you. It happens. So in view of this, we have to practice it with you in order to understand the teacher. Because I could recollect some years back when we were young, most especially, let me use one school as a sample. It's a secondary school, not elementary school or middle school. That is Ila Grammar School.
Okay.
They hire British to come and teach them there. So, Mr. and Mrs. Winchester, they don't understand Yoruba and they speak English. So you tell me, if they cannot even speak Yoruba, you know, in order to explain better to those people that they cannot speak English very well, how will they understand the teacher?
How would the student understand?
Yeah, they will not understand the teacher. What I'm just trying to tell you is that when we practice it with you at home, so then you will be even more better when you get to the class, either the second day or in future.
Okay. So, okay. I mean, of course, it has been good for us. It's also been, there's some bad side to it as well, where a lot of us, I mean, I'm very proud to be Yoruba. I'm happy to have been born a Yoruba person. But some of us, because of what happened with the generations before us, some of us are ashamed, Daddy, to speak the language. We do everything to separate ourselves from that which is us, our identity, our culture. Everything that is of the West is what some, you know, move towards. They prefer that, and anything to hide their identity is what they will do. They will go to every extent they can to hide their identity. How do we move forward from here, knowing that we didn't cause this really? It's how we were bred, some of us, right? But how do we move forward from the mistakes of the past?
Thank you. You see, one thing, I will speak in Yoruba this time.
Okay.
You know, the Yoruba proverb says that wọ́n ní a kì í fi ọwọ́ òsì júwe ilé bàbá èèyàn, pé ọmọ àlè èèyàn ló ń fi ọwọ́ òsì júwe ilé bàbá ẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
So you can see, I don't even know that this program that the topic that you are going to bring up in this program is Yoruba. You can see the way I dress. Am I not good the way of this, my dressing?
Yeah, Ewakma.
Will I be ashamed of going out with this type of gorgeous dress?
No, you should.
I believe when people see me, this is the way I went out today. I don't go to party. I don't do anything. I just decided to dry dress in this form. So people see me, they say, oh my God, I love your dressing. I love your dress. You dress gorgeous. And most of white, they admire the way of my dressing. So in view of this, we should not ashamed of being a Yoruba man or woman or whatever. So one thing I believe is that we shouldn't ashamed of whom we are, because Yoruba is, we have a very good culture. We have the respect, everything. Talk of anything, we have it. We respect elder, young ones. Yoruba is the only that I can see that they will, most especially, look at yourself. Have you ever greet me and hug me? You will lean down and say, Daddy, good morning. So, be Yoruba ṣe rí nìyẹn, èdè àtàṣà àti ṣe wa ó wuyì. We shouldn't be ashamed of being a Yoruba man. You see, one thing I believe is that Yoruba is like gold in the whole world. Okay. It's like gold. You cannot carry gold and you say that you are ashamed of your gold. Your gold is there for you. Yoruba is like a gold, a burning light that shows to the whole world. Because the way the Yoruba is now, everybody wants to learn Yoruba language. So why should we be ashamed of that very beautiful language?
Okay, but Daddy, what I'm trying to get you is this. it happened already. Our parents to us seemed ashamed of it in us, as if they told us, you didn't let us speak it at home in Nigeria, right? You penalized us, and our Yoruba was not as good at all, but our English, it was like 50-50. So, but we were speaking. So but we survived it. Most of us did. We can speak it. I'm a proud Yoruba speaker. But those people whom this decisions that our parents, your generation made, that cannot speak it because of that effect, what should they do?
Okay.
They can't
Fine,
speak it.
thank you. You see, one thing is that, like my generation, not question that we are ashamed of this, to speak that language. We don't want our children to be lag behind in education, because I believe that if I speak English to my daughter or my son, in the house, definitely, within our area, just that is in my parlor. I speak English to my children in my parlor. I know when they go out there, everybody there, they speak Yoruba. So he or she will understand Yoruba, because we are not living in the north. We are not living in the east. We are living in Lagos. And most of everybody in Lagos, they speak this Yoruba language. So most especially the estate, our estate, then everybody, they speak Yoruba, even though you understand Igbo, they speak Yoruba, every one of them. So I believe as a person that I should let you people learn English, that it may be difficult for you for progress than speaking Yoruba, because I know that you must speak Yoruba within. Not question that, I'm trying one way or the other, to barricade you in that very particular language. No.
Okay, so Daddy,
I don't deprive you in Yoruba language.
Okay, so that I understand your part. You did what you had to do. I understand that. And it was for our benefit. So your generation did what it had to do for our benefit. My question is, because that has happened, what should people like your youngest daughter, who cannot speak, she cannot speak a lick of Yoruba. If she starts speaking Yoruba, she will sound like somebody speaking Igbo language. So what should people like her do? Not because she's not ashamed of it, we know, but she can't speak it. She grew up in the same house that I did, but she came here at a very young age. So what should she do? What can they do at this point?
Okay, very good. You see, it's like when you say that we are in the mixed language, of which now she's not here. She's in America now. And two, the environment that she lives, the type of the person she moves with, she doesn't see, let's say that she's in the midst of the Yorubas. Definitely her Yoruba will be well sound. But if she's not in the midst of the Yoruba, now, when she called me and talking to me, I say, hey, I don't understand your language. Say, but Daddy, you speak English. I say, I'm sorry, you have to speak with me. Talk to me in Yoruba language. I want to hear you speaking Yoruba language. If you don't speak Yoruba language, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you are talking about. You see, let's say that we talk time to time, every day. Then when I continue challenging her that way, she will, okay. By the time I say, Daddy, I'm fine. No, I don't understand what you are saying. Alafia ni, so dada, she alafia lowa, alafia ni o baba mi. So Taban Sobe, she will understand. she will be able. But as soon as she leave the area, it's not my fault. It's not our fault this time, because she speaks Yoruba than even 3 of them before. But now when she moved out of where I live, she couldn't speak very well no more.
That is, she left. So for people like her that left Nigeria at a very young age. So are you saying, I mean, she left at a very young age. So are you saying, okay, they should find themselves those who can teach them, or find themselves and try to associate themselves with those who are Yorubas or speak Yoruba?
Okay, this is what they need to do, because Yoruba language is not a language that we're supposed to forget. That is our origin.
Say that again.
And they can, somebody like her, she can enroll online or find some places, because I can see that there is a lot online, about this Yoruba language. I've seen it. And let me use one sample. There, one woman is at Connecticut. She has a program, YORÀBÁ Day.
Okay.
That YORÀBÁ Day program, she's been doing it. And when she started doing that YORÀBÁ Day program, then along the way, she said, oh, by the side, we need to help those people who wanted to speak Yoruba cannot even speak very well. Or as you've said, to those people who speak Yoruba very well, but one reason or the other, because of the mixed language, they forget about it. So she has already established a school of which people can enroll. You can enroll online. You can attend the school, personally. For example, somebody like you too, I can see you are trying, because I was very surprised. Like your children now. Yeah, like your children now. Because if anybody see you, they will say that, oh, this is Akata, she cannot speak Yoruba. But you really did a very good job about your children. They've never been to Nigeria. They've never been to Nigeria. And the type of Yoruba they speak, Ijinle Yoruba, Ijinle, the original Yoruba, that is what they speak. Ijinle Yoruba ni wọ́n sọ, wọ́n ṣe pé wọ́n sọ Yoruba lérèfé. No, they speak conk Yoruba. So, if this can be arranged, that such a person like my little daughter can enroll in Yoruba, language, to go and learn Yoruba language, being that she knows about it, she will know about it more. So Yoruba language is very important. And if somebody like you can even establish a school for Yoruba language, people will attend it, or you do it online.
Yeah, so there's so many online resources now that we don't have any excuse. People should not, and this is what I say to all, there is no excuses at all for not learning the language. If you really want to learn, if you have a computer, have an internet connection, you can learn, because it's being offered everywhere now. But Daddy, I want to go back to something. So someone like me, I survived whatever the decisions were. I made a deliberate decision to speak Yoruba, because I remember when I got to the US, my Yoruba wasn't that great. I could not speak Yoruba as much as I thought I could, and I remember that I was basically speaking what I call half and half, which is 50% Yoruba per sentence and 50% English. And I made a conscious decision to stop all of that. And it's not my fault, just as I know others can relate, because this is the way we speak as Nigerians. We always, even our elders and those who are even speaking Ijile Yoruba, unless the person conscientiously realizes that they're actually adding English to their spoken Yoruba language. We all mix Yoruba with our English, but I decided I was not going to do that. And it shows in my children, because when I decided to start speaking Yoruba to Nora, I realized that I have videos of when she was an infant where I was speaking Yoruba and English. And then I realized that I was doing that, and I quickly stopped it. And once I stopped mixing my English and Yoruba, I became a better Yoruba speaker. And that meant for me, that my children would not be mixing the languages together, the English and Yoruba. So then myself and my husband decided that, of course, he would speak English and I would speak Yoruba to them. And that's what we're doing today. And so that has worked, but I made that decision myself as a person. So for those people, you did say, for those people who have not been able to get away from feeling ashamed, or feeling that, oh, my dad didn't teach me, my mom didn't speak it to me, so it's not my fault. What you're saying to them is, look, the decisions that our parents made back then had to be made to allow us to be able to play, to interact with the rest of the world, because the rest of the world does not speak our languages. So you prepared us, you got us speaking English. In our homes, we spoke English so we could be better. Outside, you knew there'll be people speaking Yoruba. At the school, we could learn Yoruba. Even the television uses, the television uses English to teach. So at home, you said you have to speak English so you can be better at it. And that has worked for us. But some of us are still struggling today. But what you're saying is, pull yourself by the bootstrap and get yourself together. Take advantage of what is online. Associate yourself with people who speak Yoruba, and just keep it moving, because Yoruba is not a language that we can stand to lose. I mean, that we can afford to lose, because it's highly important. And if we don't do anything about it, it will die. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I have something. You see, I want you to understand something. You see, Yoruba language is very heavy. When you speak Yoruba language to those people who understand it, most especially that proverb, they don't need to talk. When they want to talk, they just put one proverb. Whomever you are talking to understand what it means. Only Yorùbá sọ pé òwe lẹṣin ọ̀rọ̀, ọ̀rọ̀ lẹṣin òwe. Tí òwe bá sọ, tí ọ̀rọ̀ bá sọnù, òwe la fi ń wá. Torí ẹlòmíì á kàn dédé sọ̀rọ̀, á kàn sọ̀rọ̀, nǹkan tó fẹ́ sọ pọ̀, ìgbọ́n tó bá ti fòwe kan sí báyìí, ẹni tó ń bá sọ, ó ti mọ̀ ọ́. So when you don't understand that's such a proverb, or you don't know what is even called Yoruba, you may not be able, to understand it. Because one thing is that, you see, don't blame my generation much, because that was what I thought, that somebody like me, I said my children should understand the English language in order for them to be easy for them at the school, any learning area. To me, the way I put you guys help you to understand the English, and at the same time, your Yoruba is not lost.
It's not lost. It was not as good, but it's not lost. And I remember that you guys, and let me say something. So something I want to pull out, I want to bring out today is, parents, beware. If you really want your children to understand Yoruba or your native tongue, play music. Play your songs in your native tongue. My father woke us up with Alhaji Sikiru Ayinde Barrister's song every day. And I'm telling you, most of the proverbs that I know, a lot of wisdom that I have in terms of mental agility and just strength in a person, they come from his music. So I'm telling you guys, and a lot of Yorubas that I know, even though I was a child and I couldn't understand the song, I sang the song anyway. But as I got older, I could understand more. So my father played the song look, on Saturdays, if you didn't get up, you're gonna get up. You're gonna get up to the sound of the music. So, and that helped me personally, and I'm sure my siblings share the same. So Daddy, that helped me to understand, to have a better grasp of Yoruba language. I remember a song that said, I have to try to remember a song. I was singing it yesterday. There's a song where you
know, there's so many barista record will teach you, you know, moral, you know. Anyway, its record is Evergreen Records.
That's right.
So that's it. So
I can't even remember. I can't remember a song. Why? I need to remember a song. I have to remember a song. Okay, I will. Daddy, keep talking.
Omawaka we olóhùn.
Oh, Omawaka we olóhùn.
So onsa. So all these type of things you can see. So Yoruba is very good, and I'm very happy, and I'm very proud of you that you understand the Yoruba language and you are promoting it. To recollect, when we are at our house in this US, you know, I told you guys that when you come inside this house, you are in Nigeria. When you go out, you are in United States. Because that very particular time, you people did not observe what it is, in the sense that the carpet is green, the wall is white, and the tape, you know, at the top of the wall is green, which is green, white, green. So I said, you people should speak Yoruba in this house. And you said, oh, Daddy, but you told us to be speaking English in Nigeria. I said, well, that is Nigeria. This is America. I know that everybody speaks English, but I don't want you people to forget Yoruba. So you have to speak Yoruba to me.
Daddy, you called one day when we were here. We were already in the US. So you called and I was talking to you and you were like, speak Yoruba, English to me. God, this guy. So Sharon Singh, that way Emo, Nile so Gessi, Ni Ode, so Yoruba, e wo ni baba ife, kí ni daddy ife ká sọ pàápàá. Sharon ọ̀rọ̀ yìí níjọ́ yẹn.
Mo rántí nítorí pé wàá rí pé it's not that I want you people to speak English, but I want you to understand English in the Yoruba land. And when you get to any Western world, speak Yoruba so you will not forget your dialects. You will not forget your language.
So Daddy, the rules that you enforced in the house about Yoruba and English in the house, do you think that caused us to not know some Yoruba words? Because we learn Yoruba from you. You spoke Yoruba to us sometimes, very, very rarely. You spoke Yoruba to your friends, but you also played Yoruba music. So, but do you think that because we were not allowed to interactively speak Yoruba to each other, do you think that cost us to lose some of the Yoruba words? Because we didn't have a lot.
Yeah, you are right. That could cause it. That could cause it, because if I'm speaking between Yoruba all the time, definitely you will not lose the language. So one thing I believe is that I'm just trying to make things, you know, equal, to make it very in a good way for both Yoruba side and English side.
Yeah.
So definitely, if I don't do it like that, you may be one-sided.
So
you get my point.
Yes, I do. So it's a lot to balance, especially when it's a parent's job to prepare children for the world, for tomorrow. Tomorrow could be 10 years, 20, 30 years for the future.
Okay,
So so
let
that
me just use something. Yeah,
you didn't
the
know.
day that I decided that, oh no, my children need to leave this country, they need to better their life, we change it. But when you get to this place, for example, when you get to your school, you know, the students say, oh no, you are not speaking good English. But your English teacher said that you are speaking the best of the best English.
Daddy,
So
I don't know if you
no,
remember.
you're supposed to give me credit for that.
Ojuba. Okay. So I mean, and that's what I'm saying, that it was a hard thing to balance. Parents get their children ready for the future, and we don't know what the future holds. Nobody knows, right? But I believe that your generation did what it had to do, because I'm older now. I'm a parent. I can see better than the child that I was. So I know your generation did what it had to do at the time. And it is time that all of us, regardless of your age, and I've never mentioned my age on this channel. Maybe I will someday, but some of us just look young, you know. But we all, no matter where we are, how old we are, we should all just try our best to push forward to ensure that Yoruba does not die. And if you are, regardless of your age, you are a parent or you are a child who has access to the internet, my urge to you is just do what you can. If you really want to learn your language, just do what you can and take advantage of technology. Learn it for free. There are free courses online. There are free sources online. So do your best to learn that language. So Daddy, I have a question for you, but I want you to go ahead and say what you
know. Our generation is okay because we've done what we wanted to do, but it's your generation and incoming generation. I think somebody like you or all other either institutes, either personal or anybody that's promoting the Yoruba culture and the language, supposed to let your generation not to be ashamed of their language, to teach their children. Yeah. So I think this is very, very important. Even though if they want to spend money to enroll them, you know, is an institution or any other way of learning Yoruba, I think this thing that you are doing will help, you know, your generation, you know, to put their children, you know, in the way of understand what is called Yoruba language. So I think that we have. Yes, somebody like you, we have many of you doing all these type of group programs.
Yes,
I think people will value that language. People will value that language much.
Yeah, so I truly believe. Daddy, I truly believe that, because I always say it's about the cool factor. When people think, you know, people think being Nigerian is not cool because of a few bad apples that are trying or doing things to ruin to damage the reputation. But we know we have Nigerians that are doctors. We know there's nowhere I have worked where I have not seen Nigerians in these places. There is no group of professional doctors, you know, healthcare providers. That does not include about maybe 10%, at least 10% of Nigerians. Nigerians are everywhere. So guys, don't let a few bad apples ruin your claim of your identity. What my dad is saying is they have done what they can and they did their best. And for that generation, they did. And as you get older and you move through this world, you see too that you have to make decisions that might not be okay with the generations to come, but we all do our best. And the ball is in our court today. So let's all try to do our best and do the best for the generations that are coming, especially our children. So Daddy, I have a question for you. So if you could do it all over again, if you could go back to Nigeria when we were being raised and make this decision again, because you said they were, if it was Yoruba, they were speaking at the school, that's what you would make sure we understood. And if it was whatever language it was, is what you would make sure, and you made sure we understood English, because English is what was being taught and the spoken language in our schools. So if you could go back as a parent in that time, would you make the same decision that you made to stick to English in the house for your children, for us, your children?
Okay, right now, I wouldn't do that. Right now, I would be speaking Yoruba to my children if it happens, because why? We have a lot of technology now that will teach you so many languages. So by so doing, I don't need to say that, oh, my child should speak English. No, because during that time that I'm telling you, you can see that even some houses, there is no telephone. Talk less of tablet or anything, or iPad or computer. There is no even computer. So
84,
by
phone
so
booth.
doing,
1984, phone booth.
So all this type of thing. So for now, if I'm in Nigeria now, and Nora called me and say, Grandpa, how are you? I say, Yoruba, yeah. So Yoruba.
Kò ní sọ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì sí yín. Ẹ mọ̀, kò ní sọ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì.
Àlẹ́ mi ń sọ, tó bá sọ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì sí mi, màá ní bo ní Yorùbá ẹ̀ sọnù sí. Bóyá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní bá mi sọ Yorùbá. Mi ò tiẹ̀ ní bá sọ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì débi tí ó máa bá mi sọ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Sọ̀rọ̀ mi yé, Yorùbá ló máa bá mi sọ. Bó ṣe rí nìyẹn. When I'm speaking Yoruba, I don't mix it with English. I've been doing that before, but nowadays, when I'm speaking Yoruba, I want to speak Yoruba. When I'm speaking English, I want to speak English. Because it even messes your Yoruba up. When you say that, oh, Rashida Bango miye, Yoruba niye, Rashida, please, Bangbo miye. Kilo de to sọ pé jọ̀ọ́ Bangbo miye. Rashida, jọ̀ọ́, give me that water. Kò ń ṣe ìtóbójúmu. Yorùbá kọ́ la ń sọ, àdẹ̀ tún sọ òyìnbó, àmọ́ èyí tó jẹ́ wo, ìyẹn ni Yorùbá ń pè ní, we call it àmúlùmálà. Yorùbá call it àmúlùmálà. So, when you want to speak Yoruba, let people know that you are speaking Yoruba. You don't put English in Yoruba. Most especially, the whole Africa now, when they want to speak English, when they want to speak their native language, they will put English. No matter how, before they finish the sentence, at least 3-4 English will be there, which is not right. It spoils the Yoruba language. Because you may not even understand much exactly what we are talking about. So I believe in telling people, if you want to speak Yoruba, speak Yoruba. If you want to speak English, speak English. Let your English be English. Let your Yoruba or native language be native language. So go ahead.
So I was going to say, so no, you're absolutely right. So, and that's what I said earlier, that I do not mix my English with my Yoruba when speaking to my children. And I try now, because it's in front of my face. I'm aware of it. So I make the decision to try my best not to mix it. And that has improved my Yoruba. I did make a video and I said, people shouldn't mix the languages together. And I remember Ferese. I didn't know Ferese in Nigeria. Emma saw window. Look my window yet. So, and so a lot of people didn't know the word Ferese. They didn't know.
Right.
So, and that's the way we can all help each other. But what I was going to say is, now that we are away from home, you know, we don't value things. That's just the way people are. We don't value a good thing until it's gone. So when we were in Nigeria, we want to speak English so we can learn it and be better. Even there are children today, there are young ones today who feel like Yoruba is nothing. Like, ah, no, I want to be like the Americans. I want to be, and mama, they'll be speaking with fake accent and just wanting to be something that they're not. And I've never been one who falls into, who just does things because people are doing it. I've just never, you are my father, you know, I'm I'm Rashida. So now that we are away from home, a lot of us have realized our mistakes because we're not home anymore. We're missing what we now value Nigeria more than we ever did. We value the language more than our languages more than we ever did. We realize the issues in us mixing our language with our spoken language with English. And we see that if we don't do anything about it, these languages will die. So Daddy, what are your thoughts on the actions that we're all taking now? I know there's technology and that's helping us, but what are your thoughts on where we are today?
Well, what you guys are doing today is very good because you see, without the practical, you know, theory is not good. Because I can see there are some people, when they were learning theory, they may not know how to pronounce very well. Like on the internet, they will see, but you know, to pronounce, it may be difficult. Because when they say ewa,
yeah, the one. Ewa, guys, ewa is beauty. Ewa means calm. Ewa is beans. So Yoruba is tonal. So what he's saying is speaking it helps you better pronounce it.
So that is the reason why we have to, you know, put it in practice. Practical is very good than the theory when you are learning language. So that is the reason why somebody like you have to put more effort to practicalize it, you know, than on the internet or anything. Though internet is still okay, but if you can put it in a way of which people will understand, they can pronounce, they can, you know, talk in the way it goes straight. Not question that when you say, it will be very difficult when people pronounce something, you don't know the meaning. You get my point? When you are communicating with somebody and, you know, you say something, then you'll be thinking, oh, does she mean ewa? Oh, does she mean ewa? Oh, does she mean...
ewa. Another one, ewa, 10.
Ewa, does it mean inyo or inyo?
Abi inyo.
So all this type of thing. So we have to know how to use it. So if your generation can do all this practical, then that will help people.
Yeah, it will, because we have more tools than your generation did. We have more tools to use, and if we don't take advantage of them, people, we're just wasting our time, and we shouldn't stop blaming the generations before us, because just like we're going to, and we are, they did their best, and we are also going to do our best. And if our children blame us, oh well, you can say you've done your best. Yes.
Honestly, I wish you the best.
So Daddy, do you have, so first of all, I want to thank you for coming for taking time, because I know your schedule is busy, for taking time to talk to me. And I know that you, if anybody, of all your children, I'm sure, I don't know, but you can tell me, I don't think you thought I'll be the one whose children speak Yoruba. I think people should know that because I'm married, guys. My husband is American, okay? So I think, I think only of all my siblings, only 2 of us are not married to, are married to Americans, and the rest are married to Africans. But I think my dad, I'll let him tell you, but I don't think my dad ever thought that I would, my children would be speaking Yoruba. I don't know, Daddy is so.
Well, one thing is that, you see, there are some children, you know, they were so eager to learn, to know something. You know, you are one of those children that you are eager to learn. So, and you've been trying it, because since I saw the way you handle your children, actually before then, I know that, you know, because when I say, Rashida, don't go out, you'll never go nowhere. You will even lock door to some people that, no, daddy said I should not go nowhere. So it's good. So one thing to listen to the parent, and I believe that you can be better more than the way you are. And I'm very happy, out of my children, you are the only one that brought this Yoruba, you know, to the standard that I don't even expect.
The Akata one.
So, come again?
Must be the Akata one.
So you've been trying, and I will implore you to try more, because the more you try, the more you achieve your aim. So please, my advice to you is, don't relent. Try more, continue pushing. I believe that one day the whole world, will know you as Rashida Yoruba. Rashida Yoruba.
Rashida Yoruba ló bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ níbí o. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ní o. Rashida Yoruba.
So that will happen, because I know one way or the other they will give you one name that's associated with Yoruba language.
Yeah, I mean, I love Yoruba. I am so mole mama múra ẹ mọ̀, mi múra ń tèmi bẹ́ẹ̀, mi múra lọ títí. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn kan wà tó ṣe kókó. Ẹni tí ó bá lọ sí àjò, tí ó bá ti kúrò nílé ṣá. Nǹkan kan wà tó máa ń mú yàn jókòó kíyàn ronú. Yàn á rí pé nǹkan tí ó tó ń rò pé ilé kìíní kan tí kele yóò sí. Ẹ mọ̀, wọ́n máa ń sọ pé ìròyìn, àbí ìròyìn ò tá fojúbà, òun lọ̀rọ̀ kíyàn kúrò.
Ẹni bá débẹ̀ ló lè sọ.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, and I'm going to change it to English, but seeing is believing. A lot of us Nigerians, we shun our traditions, our cultures. We always want to do the Western way. We want to do things the Western way. Everything Western is what we all just move towards. Ṣùgbọ́n ìròyìn ò tá fojúbà. Seeing is believing. When you actually...
Excuse me. Don't let me, I don't want to cut you off, but I don't want to forget. When you say something now that we did not value our culture, when we were, back home. Mm-hmm. Now, look at the whites. We have a lot of Americans that are learning Yoruba. They have talking drum, they beat talking drum, they learn Yoruba language. They even value that language more than the Yorubas, and it's supposed not to be like that. Mm-hmm. So, if somebody like you, tell the Yoruba language, that would be good.
Benny.
So, we need to get hold to that very particular Yoruba language.
That's right. One thing I want to say, I remember as a child, my younger brother came. This is when you told us we were going to be punished if you had this strict rule that we'll be punished if we spoke any ounce of Yoruba. So he came in, my younger brother came in. So my brother came in and said, Daddy, he was reporting me to my dad for what I did. And he said, Daddy, Auntie Rashida is Shebai. Do you remember that? And I laughed because what he was trying to say to my dad was, Daddy, Rashida was shrugging her shoulders. Basically, I was just disagreeing with him and things of, like that. But he had to tell my dad, and he couldn't put it, he couldn't forge the English word for shrugging. shrugging the shoulder. We didn't know it because we're just Yoruba children in Nigeria. And if we never heard shrug before, we just didn't know it. Just say easy, shebai. So
tí Yorùbá bá máa sọ, á ní ó ń gún èjìká.
Then ongun
ni ó ń gún èjìká.
Yes. So, but Daddy, so any last thoughts before I wrap up?
Well, the only last talk is that I advise all the Yorubas in the whole world generally that they should not forget Yoruba language. Yoruba language is beautiful, is good, easy to communicate, is beautiful. When you are speaking Yoruba, sometimes it will be like you are singing. So in view of this, you should try one way or the other to let every one of us speak this Yoruba language. It's beautiful. It's like when you have honey in your mouth, you will just So in this case, Yoruba language is like that.
You guys, you've heard my dad. I'm so glad to have him on this program. I asked if he would like to shed some light, his thoughts on the generational mistakes that his generation, that we felt like his generation made that caused us all to feel the way we do about the Yoruba language, or mainly our native African tongues. So he agreed, and I hope that you have learned something from all that he has shared. And you all should know that we have the ball, as I've said, in our court today, and we have to kick it the best way we can. We cannot continue to blame the generations before us. Just as we can blame them, they can blame the ones before theirs. Does that mean we'll all keep blaming each other? Or are we going to do something about the issue of us leaving, shunning, forgetting our languages, and not passing this on to our children? So the answer is always look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what are you doing today? Or what have you done to promote your own native language? Mine is Yoruba, and I'm doing my best to promote it. I hope that the conversation today has shed some light on this issue, and that you will continue now, or at least feel empowered, and just stop blaming others for your inability to speak the language. I know a young guy who learned his native tongue just 2 years ago. He was already 18, and he's now fluent speaking it. Whatever we'll put our mind to, we will be able to gain from it. So please stop blaming the generations before. So Daddy, thank you so much for taking time to speak with me. Thank you so much for shedding the light, some light on this issue. And I am glad to call myself a Yoruba person and your child. And I am glad that we've had this conversation. And I want to thank you today for, exposing me to what I know. I know I didn't go to our hometown as much as I could have. I know I can't get there myself, but I know so much in Yoruba language. I know so much of our culture. I learn a lot from your speaking it. I learn a lot from the wisdom conversations that we have had. I learn a lot from your exposure of music to us as your children. And I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us. And I'm glad that I can say at least the next generation, my children, and so many others are now speaking the language and trying to correct whatever problems we have had with Yoruba and English, with passing Yoruba along to our children. And I know from this conversation and from the light that's been shed on this topic today, and from this point on, that a lot more people will feel comfortable about speaking their native tongue. At least that's my prayer.
I wish you the best. So please take good care of yourself.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
You're
Daddy.
welcome.
Guys,
Bye,
that's my dad. Okay, bye.
Bye.